Shh, be quiet, or you're going to violate the NDA. God bless you, friends. Thank you for joining me this morning on Morning Nuggets. This is yours truly, Pastor Nate. It is my absolute pleasure that I can come and speak with you. I count it a privilege. Thank you for watching. I want you to subscribe. We're really focusing on growing the channel. I need you to share these videos. If you want to hear more of these videos, please subscribe and hit the notification bell. I'm talking about NDAs. Yes. Pastor Nate, why are you talking about NDAs? Well, first of all, let's get into it. What is an NDA? An NDA is a non-disclosure agreement, and that's a contract that creates obligation to privacy, right? Is when a person commits and agree to protect the privacy of something. Many of you worked or still work for a company, and when you sign on, in many instances you sign an NDA saying that you will protect the confidentiality of the company, that you won't share and divulge any information with other companies, right? Because there's competition out there and you can compromise the well-being of your organization. So you have to protect that privacy. In hospitals, I guess it would kind of be something like the HIPAA laws, right? That we won't divulge any personal information about a patient to anyone else. Contract, not only is it written, but it's also verbal. You know, back in the day, they didn't have contracts like this, like that. Their word was their bond. When they shook on it and they said they were going to do this or they were not going to do that, that word was their bond. Nowadays, our word is not our bond. That's why we have to have contracts and different things like that, and then we find ourselves suing each other and different things because people breached and various things of that nature. What really spurred this conversation about an NDA? I was kind of in and out on a live a couple days ago, and there were content creators on the platform, and one particular content creator was questioning another pertaining to the dynamics of the show, and he was challenging this other content creator, and he was y'all can see it on the screen, the two I highlighted in red here, and a lot of people, in fact everybody on the channel, was kind of going after her, and I think she kind of put a foot in her mouth. And again, I always say I'm neutral. I don't have anything against any of the content creators. I like to bring these things and put a biblical spin to it, right? Because I feel like God is saying something in every situation if you just open your ears and listen. Yeah, so this other content creator was really questioning the other one, and she began to almost tell some of the things about the show, and other content creators on the platform were saying like, hush, be quiet, or you're gonna violate the NDA. About NDAs, many people will say something like this here, let me see what I can say and what I can't say. Oh, I can say this, but I can't say that. Friend, I wouldn't even allude to it at all, because when you do that, sometimes you may not be sure what you can and cannot say, and you might say something that you're not supposed to. So just to be safe, I wouldn't even refer to it. And doesn't this get on your nerves when people say this here? They'll bring it up, and then they'll say, I better not say that. No, I ain't gonna say it. Now you got other people curious. They're like, why? Go ahead and say it. Go ahead and say it. And the person who's talking like, no, I better not say it. No, I can't say that. I promised I wouldn't say it. That's confidential. My question is, why did you bring it up? People do that all the time. First Timothy 6:20, Paul was telling Timothy, he says, guard what has been entrusted to you. Friend, we got to learn how to guard what people have told us in confidence, as well as NDAs. In fact, whatever's been entrusted to us to keep private, we should respect that enough to honor that. Sometimes when we share stuff in confidence, and when we have a falling out and get mad with our friend, we'll divulge that information that our friend told us not to. Friend, the NDA still goes on, whether you're mad or not. That's why in companies they'll say when you leave, something to the effect, when you leave the organization, you're still under obligation not to discuss that, or you could possibly be sued. Just because I'm mad with the company and I feel like my manager did something wrong to me, or he fired me and I want to retaliate. Well, when I retaliate, guess what? I can't divulge that confidential information. I need to retaliate with something else. I'm not a proponent of retaliation. And you know, in many cases we have friends and we have family members that talk to you and they share information, and the minute y'all fall out, you want to hit below the belt, then you want to divulge that confidential information. And sometimes that information that they share with you can affect a lot of things, to the point sometimes it could cause someone's life to be taken. So that's how serious confidential information is. I had to learn this here as I grow up. Right now, you can tell me, especially as a pastor, a lot of people come to me and share things about their ailments, what's going on in their bodies, and how they feel about certain things and what others did to them. And as a pastor, I have to provide spiritual counsel and pray with these folks, and I have to keep that information. Yes, not that I'm condoning it, but if they come to me, they have to trust somebody. That's why a lot of people don't come to the church. They get church hurt, or somebody lets the cat out the bag by divulging their information that they share in confidence. I don't do that. I don't get over the pulpit and talk about the information. In fact, if I say something that's going on in your life, you didn't tell me, that's the Holy Spirit telling me. You have to take it up with God. And I often tell people, if you absolutely do not want anything repeated, don't say it at all. I don't care if it's a family member. I don't care if it's a friend. You have to act like the walls have ears, even in your house by yourself. If you don't want it out there, don't even say it. Ooh. When I was young and growing up, I used to look in grown folks' face, and my grandmother had to get on me a lot of times because I would repeat. Yes, as a child, I would repeat what I would hear out in the streets. And they used to tell us what goes on in this house, stay in this house. And she used to tell me, boy, you can't hold water. In fact, I got a whooping for that one time, for repeating stuff, looking in grown folks' face and repeating stuff. Yes, so friend, I learned my lesson. When I hear those church ladies talk in the house, when I was growing up at a teenager, when I was going through my teenage stage, when I hear those church women, because y'all know church women like to gossip. I'm just going to be real. They will gossip, I'm telling you. But when I heard them talking about somebody else, Nate zipped his mouth. Yeah, well, they call me Tank. That's my nickname back at home. Tank didn't say nothing. He zipped it up. You wasn't going to get it out of me. And then when another adult suspected that somebody said something about them, and they might ask me, because there are times where they would ask me, kind of like what happened on that StreamYard, on that platform. You're not going to get me in the trap. I got a whooping for that before. This is what I say. You might want to go ask my mama that. See, I got sense. I'm not going to say, let me see what I can say and can't say. No, because right when I do that, I'm opening the door for that. That's what we need to do, people. When somebody come to us and ask us about somebody else, you know how you shut that down? Go ask them. If they want you to know, they will tell you. If not, then they will just tell you it's none of your business. But you're not going to hear it from me. I've learned over the years to keep confidential information. My casket's gonna be full of secrets. Yes, the things that people have shared with me, yes, it's gonna be heavy. I don't know if I need 6 pallbearers. I might need 10 or 12 if they could get around that casket, because it's gonna be heavy, friends. A lot of people have shared, and it's an honor, right? Not saying that I want to hear something juicy, but it's an honor that somebody can trust somebody in this day, because you cannot trust a lot of people nowadays. And if you find that person that you can share something with, and you know that information will not be repeated, that is a blessing. You need to cherish that relationship. I pray that God would bless the show. So maybe we need to stop talking about it. Maybe others just need to shh, because I'm sure with content creators and everybody's talking about it, I'm sure somebody has breached the contract. I'm sure somebody has breached it, because there's been a lot of scuttlebutt. There's been a lot of talk about it. And y'all, we just can't do that. If we're under an NDA, we need to honor that. I stated before, if you don't want nothing said or repeated in the streets, don't say it at all. You might have a Judas in the camp. Uh-oh. Ooh. Y'all remember Jesus and disciples? They were close to him. Judas went out to betray Jesus, talking to somebody else, betraying Jesus and letting them know where Jesus was for 30 pieces of silver. We call it a mole in the camp. So we really got to be careful, because everybody who's around you and in your circle is not for you. Friend, I just thought I'd bring this exhortation to the forefront. I pray that it bless you this morning. In the meantime, in between time, be at peace and not in pieces. And shh, be quiet, be quiet. Zip it. Till next time, my friend.